You get worried that you look like a bit of like, you look a bit bonkers. You're like, I've got all my clay boyfriends in my studio.
Artist Mary Stephenson has 7 boyfriends. However, none of them have a name and they're all made out of clay.
This is the newest one, and he's kind of a bit, he's a bit creepy, this one, I think. He's the one that's going on the most recent date, the one that's just about to be shot. So yeah, he's the newest one and he's the oldest one. There was one incident that kind of triggered it. I was at a wedding a couple of years ago and someone had asked how long I'd been single for, and I'd said, 2 years or so. And this person said, oh, what a waste of time. It just made me start thinking kind of what society's kind of pressures for people to have. Like, do we have to be in a couple? If we're single, does that speak a lot of things about us? So I started playing around with these ideas of these kind of scenarios of kind of hypothetical goals for the future for relationships, and I kind of thought, you know, if society wants me to be in a relationship, I'll put myself in a relationship.
After creating her boyfriends, she stages elaborate dates with them in her London-based studio.
I was at a party in the summer and I was showing a friend, so my friend was asking about it, and I showed him a picture of him on my phone, and he said, oh my God, that looks exactly like my friend Ben. And I was like, who's Ben? He was like, Ben! And this guy came and was like, hello, and I was like, oh look, Mary's made a sculpture that looks like you, and I was like, oh, it's just, no, and he was like, oh, it's a fake boyfriend, and I was like, and he did not find it funny. He was very confused and a bit freaked out, and I was like, oh, that's very kind of awkward. When I start making them, they kind of come out of nowhere. I kind of got a lump of clay, and you just have to kind of go with it, and the clay kind of really dictates actually how they end up looking. Like, usually do the nose first and kind of find like where the face is there. Sometimes you make them and they just look totally bizarre, and that's just like, they just look like kind of weird creatures. So I tend to just throw those ones in the bin.
Mary, who graduated from Glasgow School of Art, says the project has been created to explore the modern-day pressures on young people, like herself, to live a seamless, perfect and idealised life.
This guy was, this one I made when I Googled handsome man, and I kind of came up with we found all these images of handsome men, as Google had said, and came up with him that I would, in my opinion, say is the least attractive, if out of the bunch. I think then the scenarios and the portraits are more meant to be about my own projection for myself in the future and what I anticipate within relationships, as opposed to what the men are like. I think a lot of the time when we look into the future and think about what we want for ourselves, and especially with relationships, I think it's rare the person is that vivid or that, defined. I think it's more about yourself and how you define yourself within it, and how strong you feel, or how,
Mary is now onto her 7th clay boyfriend, but previous date scenarios have seen her in romantic Paris, picnicking in the park, and even introducing them to her friends at a social gathering.
I think I've grown in confidence with being single. Not that I wasn't confident with it, but like I felt conflicted. By playing out these roles, I've kind of realised my confidence in not being in them. I think kind of some of the most successful portraits are ones where I look quite bored. And I think that kind of speaks to me quite loudly that I don't necessarily want to be in that situation right now, even though they're clay boyfriends and it's in a kind of bizarre scenario. I think it's making me realise that these hypothetical scenarios in my head are hypothetical and they're idealised, they're not necessarily relevant to me right now. So playing them out is kind of like a weird therapy, I guess. People have been really supportive actually, and lots of women have emailed me being like, it really resonates for me, and kind of confirms a kind of confusion, I guess, which, to share a confusion with someone is actually kind of makes it slightly better.